What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we're going to be going over the charts. We're going to take a look at the Dow Jones, the DXY, then we're going to take a look at Bitcoin from the monthly all the way down to the 4-hour. Definitely stick around. I also have a couple more bubble pops that I've showed them in the past, but I'm going to bring them up just to give you an idea of why I do not think the bottom's in still. Could it be? Definitely a possibility. I don't think that's the case, though, and I'm going to show you why, so make sure you stick around for the whole video. Also, make sure you guys take a second out, scroll down, smash that thumbs up, leave your comments down below, subscribe to the channel if you want daily updates. I haven't been doing daily updates every single day lately. As you guys know, I'm building a house. Right now, we're getting into the electricians and the plumbing and all that stuff, so we have to be there to tell them where to place certain things. So also, we had a snowstorm, and I spent the last couple days looking for a quad with a plow, found the one I wanted, and yesterday plowed all day. So anyways, let's get into it. Let's see what's going on, and we'll start out with the Dow Jones. As you guys know, this blue line is what I'm watching here, the support and resistance line. As you can see, we get pops above it, but let's see if we can maintain. If we maintain above this 33.5 range, then it's possible that traditional markets could go to a new all-time high. I'm still not convinced of that at all. As you guys know, I am looking at the traditionals as extremely bearish and a big drop coming in the near future within the next 6 months or so. I've been talking about this for a long time, and I stick to it. Nothing has changed at all, in my opinion, and I'll show you guys my invalidation on the weekly. Same invalidation we had all year. Let's get into it. So this is what I'm looking at. I think if we drop below this 34.5 again on the Dow, then if we put the Fibonacci extensions up here from the swing high to the swing low, back to the next swing high, that gets us down to the 1.618 at 30,900. That's where I think we're headed for the Dow. That doesn't mean it bottoms there. I think the bottom for the Dow is going to be pretty damn low, guys. But we'll see what happens. Let's look at the DXY. So the DXY, as you guys know, I have the Fibonacci retracement from this swing low to this swing high. And right now we are still playing on the 0.5 fib. Below this 0.5 fib, I would have expected it to drop faster towards the golden pocket range, which is going to be around the 98, right around 98 points. If we do, I think that'll be a swift, and then we'll get a bounce. And if we do get down here, that will be one more pump for Bitcoin, and I'll show you guys the levels that I'm looking for. But as of right now, I'm not convinced of this. It looks like it wants to pop back above the 0.5, get support, and come back up to this range. And each one of these are going to be, so if we get above here and start opening and closing dailies above the 1019, then I expect us to get up to at least the 105, which will probably hold as resistance for a minute and then another shoot up. As you guys know, I think the DXY is going much higher. I've thought that for a very long time. Back here, I was saying that, and people were calling me crazy, and you can see what happened, guys. It's just been bullish. This is a nice pullback for the DXY, setting up for a big run. Now, I know a lot of people are talking about why they think Bitcoin is in a bull run, and they're only looking at Bitcoin, not traditionals. Now, remember, the 4-year cycle, everybody pushes, if this happens here, then maybe it's true. And then you just buy and sell every 4 years, and it's as simple as that. But I don't think that's the case. Bitcoin, since its creation, the traditional markets were in a bull market. I think they're going in a bear market, which Bitcoin has never seen. And Bitcoin is a risky asset, whether you like to think that or not, because I know a lot of the narrative is Bitcoin is going to $1 million eventually, blah, 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 which is possible. As you guys know, in the long term, I'm more bullish than bearish on Bitcoin in the very long term. But in the medium term here, meaning the next, a few years, possibly up to 10 years, I'm going to, let's say the next 6 months to a year, I'm bearish on Bitcoin, right? Probably not a year, probably about 6 months, maybe 7, 8, somewhere in there. But I'm bearish up to that point. I think we see our new lows probably next month, maybe before then, but within the next 60 days, I expect us to see our new lows and then get another rally. And I'll explain that through the whole thing. But let's take a look at the monthly. And of course, this depends on where the monthly closes. But if we make a lower high on the close of this monthly candle than we made over here, that's going to be hidden bearish divergence. Hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend, and the monthly trend is down. As of right now, this 8 EMA lies around 22.7. So watch for the monthly close. If it's below 22.7, I'm pretty confident that Bitcoin is definitely going further down. Now, here's my weekly chart. This is Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart. We've talked about this, went over this a million times. I still believe this to be the case. We did get this pump here, but everybody's saying we broke the high looking at this high, but you can't really count that because you have to count the high before the low. And that's this high here at 25.3 was the high, you know, before the next low, right? Going down here. So you had this low, then this was your next high, which is 25.3, 25.4, somewhere in that range. We'd have to break that to become bullish for the longer term, in my opinion. But 25.8 is where the 55 EMA is. That is my invalidation of this chart. Has been the whole time, still remains. We have not crossed it. And I would need to see a weekly candle open and close above this to become bullish, right? So that's what I'm looking at. I'm still looking at this low coming sometime in March or April, February, March, April for the false bottom. Then we get a pump up into, you know, April, May, and then our final bottom sometime in middle or end of this year. Now, let's take a look at another bubble. As you can see, I always talk about the false bottoms on bubble pop patterns, right? You had a bubble pop here. Oh, one more thing. Let's go back over. So I talked about breaking this trend line and everyone getting extremely bullish. We talked about this all year, and we did break that. But I'd said even if when that breaks, we still have a bottom, a lower low coming, just like we did over here. You can see it right here. We broke above, and just like I said, everyone's extremely bullish. That's it. The bottom's in. We expected them to say that. Now, could this be the false bottom and then we come down for just one more low? That is a possibility. But like I said, I still think we have a lower low coming. So even here, there's going to be a rally after this dump, even if the false bottom isn't until March, April that we've been talking about. If that is the false bottom in this area, you're still going to want to buy some and then, you know, maybe put stops just below or trail it with a stop loss in case it comes back down to the new low. But either way, I think we have one more low to buy coming soon within the next 60 days, probably maybe 90 at the most. But we have another low at least coming, and that's where I'll purchase a little bit of Bitcoin, not much. I'm not going to get crazy because remember, guys, people were buying all the way up here thinking every little dump was the bottom and the bottom was in, right? So these guys are all way up here, well above the $30,000 range. You're still doing better off than them if you buy down here because they're up here just waiting and wishing they wouldn't have bought up here. And remember, we also talked about every little pump would get dumped into. Every little pump, everyone would get bullish, right? So this is the mindset of how a bear market works, right? You had this big dump and then, oh my gosh, everybody wished they would have sold up here. Well, we'll look at it here, but it happened over here. We talked about it December 2nd, 2021. I made a video when we were way up here explaining this. You get a dump, everybody wishes they would have sold up here. Then you get a rally and then they get bullish again. Some of them buy more. Some of them are just happy and won't sell. And then to make another lower low, and then they wish they would have sold the last high over and over and over and over and over again, all the way down. I still believe we have at least one more low, right? And that'll be sometime in the next, within 90 days. If that doesn't happen, then maybe the bull market's in. But remember, 25.8 range is what we're watching for invalidation of this chart. Now, let's look at another bubble pop. This one, these are all on the weekly charts, guys. This bubble pop here is Nintendo, and you can see false bottom. They always have a false bottom. This one went above the 55 EMA, so something to keep in mind. It is possible, but it's still looking a lot more like the dot-com bubble, right? So same thing here. We obviously haven't hit it yet here, but as you can see, the similarities in these it's astonishing. It's absolutely crazy, right? It's a bubble pop pattern. I believe there's a false bottom before we hit the real bottom. And then this, I do not think was a false bottom. This is possibly the false bottom. Let's look at Sony. Same thing. You see this false bottom had a big false bottom rally before making its real lows. Actually, had another one after that, kind of like Amazon, but this took many, many years. Regardless, I think we have another low coming, and everyone's way excited and getting new people to buy in. Even if you bought in up here, you know, waited till 30,000, even 35,000, you're still well off if it truly was the bottom, because then what, in 3 years, you're going to see $100,000 Bitcoin, right? Although I think it's going to be about 10 years till we break the all-time high. I still stick to that unless the Amazon chart's invalidated. But as of right now, as you can see, even on the weekly, we have hidden bearish divergence, higher highs in the RSI, lower highs in the price action. So we go from this high here to this high, lower highs, this high, same high to the same high, higher highs. And it does look like it's rolling over here, guys. So be very cautious, be careful, don't get sucked into the FOMO. And if you're looking at the macro, there's nothing that's made the macro bullish yet, guys. Nothing. We still haven't even broke this high. Everybody's talking about breaking this high is some big deal. It's not. Look at the daily. So here's the bullish case, right? This is that 25.8 range, which is our weekly 55 EMA. So if we can hold above this on the daily, let's go in here real quick. And I talked about this many, many times. A daily open and close above this trend line, then I think it's possible we get up to around that 25.8 range. But first we have to open and close. So far we closed yesterday's, we opened today's, but we have not closed today's daily. Let me get this out of your way. We've not closed today's daily over that trend line. And that trend line is just a copied trend line from this one down here, from this wick to this wick, put up here to this wick. We did get above it a little bit, but we have not maintained a daily open and close above that. So the daily close today will be, if it is above, where is that? Right there, about 22,950. Let's say if it's above 22,950-ish, then it could be bullish, and we could range around in here for a little bit and maybe come up and test that 55 EMA on the weekly, right? But if we do close below, that's going to be bearish, guys. And then we come down to our next trend line here is going to be around 17.5. Maybe get a bounce in here. Once that breaks, then we go down to retest this bottom trend line. Could be down to the 13.5, somewhere in that range. But either way, like I said, I think we have a long ways to go before the bottom's in. And this, if it broke over here, would be somewhere around 5,500. So if we did have a huge capitulation down to that area, then maybe this was the false bottom. But again, I'm not convinced. I'll let you know what I'm thinking when things change. And guys, you know, I haven't made a video in the last couple of days. Like I said, I've been busy. But if you look at what's happened there, we're still just ranging in the same little area. So nothing's happened at all. Same old thing, guys. Let's go into the 4 hour and take a look at that. So on the 4 hour, as you can see, it looks like a rising channel here. So it looks like a rising channel, and this could be an ending fifth wave diagonal. And an ending fifth wave diagonal has 5 waves in it. We'll just take a look at that real quick. So it would be wave 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we do get that other high, that would get us up to that 25.8 range, somewhere in there. Again, I'm not convinced that's the case yet. We have to see where this daily candle closes. But even if we look at that same trend line on the 4 hour, we've been above it again a few times. But we're just bouncing around on it. So if we drop down below it again, where is this trend line? Let's put this in here real quick. What would be the area to watch for a dump to begin? So if it was to happen today or tomorrow, it's going to be around that 22.6, 22, what would it be here? Yeah, around the 22.6. If we break that 22.6, obviously the 55 EMA might give you a little support around 22.1. Maybe bounce back up, retest it, and then come down. And then your next support's going to be around that 19.6. Now, a lot of people have been talking about the 19.6. Well, I don't know if they still are. I know a few days ago they were. As it coming down to there and that being support. What usually happens in those areas is just what to watch for. Then everyone would be longing down here because that's the narrative being pushed, right? And that would fuel long squeezes for it to really capitulate. So just be careful, guys. I do not believe the bottom's in. Nothing has changed. Like I said, I gave you my weekly 55 EMA. That will start to change my view. But again, it all matters on what patterns are forming at that time, right? It's all about patterns. I believe in the charts, not the news, like you guys know. The news can pretty much, they're bought. They can say whatever they want with their CPI numbers, all that. All that's made up crap. They'll nitpick what they want to use to make the numbers. And if it doesn't work for the narrative, they'll switch it. I think we are witnessing the biggest money grab in history. I've been talking about that for a very long time in all markets. I think a lot of people are going to get really crushed here. That's what happens. And people talk about the Fed's going to do this, the Fed's going to do that. It's all a plan. And the plan is to take your money, and that's exactly what they're going to do. When you're feeling super euphoric and bullish, it's working. They're going to get you. Be careful out there, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to smash the likes, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.